What's going on, guys? Dirtsheet clocking in from the Spoiler Alert Network. I'm here with Showtime for another top 5 video, and what we are doing today is continuing the wrestling theme leading up to WrestleMania. We are doing our top 5 heels. Now, for those of you who are not very familiar with wrestling, there is 2 different characters, if you will, in wrestling. There is the babyface, and then there's the heel. The babyface are the John Cenas of the company. They are the, goody two-shoes, pander to the crowd, the good guys. The heels are the assholes. They are the Randy Ortons, the MJFs, the ones that you don't like, the ones that come to your city and say mean things about you, like Chris Jericho. So we'll go ahead and get started with our top 5 favorite heels. Who you got, Showtime?
I broke the rules a little bit for my number 5.
Oh.
It's not one guy. It's the Nexus.
That's a lot of guys.
That's 7 guys. But if it has to be just one guy, it's Wade Barrett as the leader of the Nexus. Even though in the beginning they said they had no leaders and that they were all equal, Wade Barrett was just a douche with the Nexus. He was just an asshole. And at the time when I was watching, what year was that? 2010?
I want to say 2010.
Yeah, well, okay, we'll say 2010. And I was just ready to see Wade Barrett not win anymore, because they were just constantly interrupting matches and stopping matches and interfering and just being a problem. And at the time, I just wanted to watch wrestling to see 2 guys have a match. I didn't want to see every match get interrupted. I didn't want to see chaos break out after every match. And just seeing 7 guys constantly everything up was getting really annoying. And I didn't like him because I wasn't supposed to.
It was a super heel faction. It was, I believe it. So I remember watching it too, and it was, man, the first night they debuted and just tore apart the entire arena. I knew from that moment, I was like, not gonna like these guys. Don't like that. Punching Jerry Lawler for no reason, beating up the timekeeper, just tearing up the ring for no apparent reason.
Trying to murder Justin Roberts.
Poor Justin. And then he went to AEW.
Sure
they
did.
Scared him out of the company.
Like 8 years later, but yeah.
Yeah. PTSD.
What do you got for number 5?
So my number 5 is not so much the fact that I liked him as a heel, but it was the symbolic of him turning heel. Hulk Hogan going to WCW and founding the NWO. Now, this was a huge turn, and I did not like it because I was very young, and those wrestling fans remember Hulk Hogan was the Clark Kent of wrestling in the 90s. He was eat your vitamins, say your prayers, never did anything wrong, always took the high road. And then he goes to WCW and he just does down and dirty shit to the point where the fans are throwing garbage into the ring every time he appeared because they just couldn't stand the sight of him, because he had tore down the foundaries of his character and had completely undone everything that he built. So I really, as I got older, I realized I liked the move. It was a tremendous move for him at the time, but man, as a kid, I was like, this sucks. This is not Hulk Hogan. This is not my hero. Get him off screen. Who you got for number 4?
For my number 4, I got JBL. I didn't like JBL.
I hate his guts.
And I don't think he's a good wrestler. I've said this before. Don't like him as a wrestler. But that's part of what makes him a great heel. He got me to want to see him get beat. And that was at a time when I was still on the verge of what wrestling really is versus what childhood me believed it was. So around that time when JBL was feuding with John Cena and he was feuding with Eddie Guerrero and he was just being super fucking racist to Eddie Guerrero, which is amazing heel stuff. And it wouldn't happen today, you think?
No, not with our PG era.
It wouldn't happen today, and that kind of is missing in today's product. The stuff that actually makes you hate a heel, not this boring your sports teams suck because they're here. None of that stupid cheap heat talking about Mexicans needing to be deported. just because of the color of their skin. That's some heel that JBL was doing, and that's what made him a good heel. Not a good person, not a good wrestler, him as a wrestler, but he knew how to make people boo because he was a wrestling god.
Ugh.
What do you got for number 4?
My number 4 on my top 5 heels is Randy Orton. And I'm not talking like any previous Randy Orton. I'm talking like way back. Legend killer Randy Orton. Legacy Randy Orton.
Really good fucking pick, and I'm mad it didn't make my list.
Because this Randy Orton was absolutely ruthless. He was animalistic at times, really. The things that he would do to people, like the lines that he would cross in his rivalry with Triple H, kissing his wife after he DDT'd her into the mats, beating up Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, anybody even closely affiliated to Triple H, he just pummeled. And this was at the time whenever he was using the punt kick. And I remember this finisher because this was one of the only finishers that I was never okay with. Like, yeah, it was kind of cool to see, but honestly, I cringed more every time I seen it because he's just flat kicking someone in the skull. Yep. I remember whenever he did it to RVD, and RVD like convulsed on the mat and was drooling, and we didn't see RVD for like 4 or 5 months. Or actually, no, we might have never seen him again. He might have just went to TNA after that. But like he went to some really low levels. Like, he was a garbage human being, and he was phenomenal at getting you to hate him and despise him. And plus, one of my favorite heel moments came with Randy Orton as the Legend Killer whenever he made fun of Kofi's Jamaican accent, and then Kofi just lost it overnight. It was the best thing ever. So that's my number 4.
That's a really, really good pick. That time for Randy Orton is my favorite period of his career, when he was feuding with like Mick Foley and Shawn Michaels, and I remember him kicking Harley Race in the head. Did that happen?
I'm pretty sure Harley Race did get kicked in the skull.
And just like for a while there, Randy Orton was like the Grim Reaper of WWE.
He was.
And the punt kick was his scythe.
Yeah.
And he was just wiping people out for months at a time.
Yep. Yeah, it was ugly. It was an ugly time in the WWE, that's for sure.
But it was also great.
Tremendous. Who you got for number 3?
My number 3, I can almost guarantee that Dirtsheet's going to disagree with this. Because either A, this dude didn't make his list, or B, this dude is much higher on his list. But it's MJF. MJF
didn't make my list. Came very, very close.
Oh. MJF is the best heel in the world today, right now. That's just it. He makes people boo him. He says pisses people off, and he's great at it. His delivery of it, he looks like he really believes it. The stupid douchey smirk that he has, clothes that he wears, his stupid haircut.
His scarf!
His scarf?
Who the fuck wears scarves?
Really, scarves.
Idiots.
Dumb.
Stupid ass mother.
And people legitimately love to hate this guy. And they might just legitimately hate him. I don't know. I don't know. The line is really thin for me. I think people really appreciate his talent at getting people to hate him. And because that's how I feel about him. I think he's great at getting people to hate him. And the stuff that he's doing in AEW right now, with the kiss in the ring and all that stuff, he's doing great. The other 2 people on my list are not currently active. So that's why MJF is in the spot he's in now, because he's the best heel that this era could possibly stand right now.
You know, I actually agree word for word with you. Right now, actively, MJF is the best heel. Barely edges out my number 1 pick, actually. But the reason he didn't make my list is because I figured he'd make yours. But MJF is... I've been in the crowd. I've seen MJF live. And the fans all have mixed reactions because they respect his ability to be a heel, but you also just hate the guy. There was MJF chants ringing through the entire arena I was at. And I'm pretty sure every single person in the arena was chanting at the top of their lungs. You couldn't hear MJF on the mic, and he'll stop. And he'll just condescendingly, mock the crowd and wait for you to get done. Like, he gets paid. He can do this all night, and it's really amazing how he's ridden this wave of heel activities and whatever it is he's doing. Absolutely absurd.
Absolutely. What do you got for number 3?
Okay, so my number 3 is NXT superstar Shayna Baszler. And the reason Shayna Baszler is my number 3 heel is because she is a tremendous heel in the fact that she backs up every word that she says, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. The way she carries herself and the way she delivers in matches, she'll come out on a microphone, tell you she's going to put you to sleep with the Karabuta clutch, and then f***ing do it. And there's nothing that you can do about it. Absolutely nothing you can do about it. She's done it to everybody she's faced over the past 2 years, with the exception of one person. We're not going to name her because she's kind of like the Voldemort for Shayna Baszler at this point. But Shayna Baszler will just... You're right? Yep. Shayna Baszler comes out every week. She's about her business. She'll cut a promo. She'll be an asshole. And then she'll go into the ring and dominate whoever she's in the ring with. And it is... I believe it. I believe that this woman is one of the baddest women on the planet. And I wouldn't want to be in a fight with her. No. I'll just run into the wall and knock myself out to spare myself the pain.
Yep.
So that is my number 3.
My number 2 pick
Everything is not all right.
is Eddie Guerrero. I never liked Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, damn. You've been hanging out with JBL?
I guess so.
Zeb Coulter?
I just didn't like Eddie Guerrero. I don't know. I think that I only remembered him as a heel, and at the time when he died, 2005, it was a weird period in my fandom where I was in between knowing what wrestling really is and what kids believe wrestling is, and I just assumed that everything he said was real, and that he was just a legitimate bad guy and trying to steal Dominic from Rey Mysterio.
Remember that ladder match?
Yeah, the contract on a pole or whatever, the contract ladder match for custody of a kid.
Yep.
To be decided in a wrestling ring. That makes sense. And just all the stuff that Eddie Guerrero did, specifically during that time frame with the feud with Rey Mysterio and Dominic, just led me to believe that he was a piece of shit human. And it made me legitimately not like him. And to the point that, like, I don't even want to say it. So when Eddie Guerrero died, and everybody was like, oh my god, Eddie Guerrero's dead. I was like, you just hated this guy 2 months ago. Now he's dead, you should be happy. I legitimately thought that as a little 7th grader, that people should be happy that this bad guy died. I was dumb, but that's what I believed. But I still believed up until super recently that Eddie Guerrero I just didn't like him. And I just assumed it was because he wasn't a good wrestler. But looking back at like his movements and his mannerisms and just the way he carried himself and everything that he did, he was actually really good. And I was just blinded by my stupidity as a kid of not knowing what to believe, thinking that he was a real piece of when it was just him being an amazing heel.
Listen, Kay, you guys heard it here first. I'm not trying to be a piece of but Eddie Guerrero is such a good heel in ring and on camera that he can go die and humans don't feel remorse for him. So it really is a testament to how good Eddie Guerrero is, and we really didn't deserve him. So,
what do you got for number 2?
So my number 2, literally take everything I said about the last superstar and apply it here because it's the same. Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole will come to the ring, tell you he's going to punch you in the mouth or knee you in the face with the last shot or whatever, and then he'll come out and do it the same night. Adam Cole is one of the best heels on the roster right now, on any roster. NXT, WWE, AEW, I don't care where it is. Not only because of his skill on the microphone, but his skill in the ring, and he has the Undisputed Era to back him up. Now, Cole, the reason I admire him is because he can get it done both ways. He'll resort to underhanded tactics. He'll charge headfirst into a 4-on-1 situation with the UE at his back, or he'll leave him in the back and he'll come out and he'll do the job himself, like he did against Johnny Gargano. He doesn't need the help. He has it, though, because it makes things easier for him, and it solidifies his legacy as a heel. And he has had the best year that I remember personally in the last 6 or 7 years for a wrestler. He has been on fire. He has won championships. He's been the NXT champion. He has taken NXT arguably to new heights since he's been champion, and he's done it all as an asshole. He doesn't need any approval. He doesn't want any approval, but like sheep, we flock to him because he is that good.
I 100% agree. Adam Cole has had the best year out of anybody in the past probably decade, really.
Yeah.
He's on fire. He had the NXT championship for a long time, and he led the rest of the Undisputed Era to all gold. There's just nothing but gold.
The Professor.
Yes, that. The prophecy. They are golden. The Undisputed Era is gold, and it led to Adam Cole being the whatever I told you the other day.
The male performer of the year or whatever it is.
He was voted the PWI.
Not porn star.
No, not porn star. He was voted the PWI Wrestler of the Year.
Yep, and he deserves it. He really does. And, now the UE is not only dripping in gold belts, they got these gold awards that they got, the NXT year-end awards. I really don't feel like any of the stars in the UE would have got to the heights they did without Adam Cole at steering the ship. He is so charismatic and such a natural leader. It is absolutely insane.
He has enough charisma to overflow the cup of Roderick Strong, who's just a charisma void.
Yeah.
I love Roderick Strong, but he has no personality.
Poor guy has no personality. He has the gas tank to go all night, though. So that's for sure. So, big reveal, Showtime. Who's your number one?
So my number one heel in the entire history of pro wrestling, this kind of negates something I said earlier, though, is Tommaso Ciampa. So this guy turned...
Love this man! Daddy's home!
I love Ciampa now, but when he turned on Gargano back at the whatever takeover it was awful. Just ruined DIY, just started a great rivalry between the two, and we had just every week at NXT Live, there were just 400 people just screaming, "You bald," at Tommaso Ciampa, and all of it was amazing. For a while there, he didn't even have entrance music. He just came out to the sounds of people booing him.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing heel tactic. And he's amazing. He's incredible at getting people to hate him. He's incredible at getting people to like him now.
Yeah.
Which they go hand in hand. Tommaso Ciampa is amazing as a wrestler, and just it goes to show how much he can be a good heel and a good babyface, good tag team guy, good singles guy. It doesn't matter. He's amazing, and he's the best heel of all time. And that's just how it is. Who do you got for number one?
My number one. You're not going to like this.
Okay.
People watching this video aren't going to like this, but y'all need to hear this.
I'll stab you.
Is Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin is arguably the best heel in wrestling right now. Gives MJF a run for his money. Baron Corbin is doing his job when he gets you to do this face.
Nope.
When Baron Corbin is on camera, people hate it. I have fast-forwarded through segments of SmackDown to not hear this guy talk. I despise Baron Corbin. Everything about him. He bores me in ring. Personality-wise, he kind of bores me too. I don't like him. I don't ever want to see him win the U.S., the Intercontinental, or even the Divas Championship. I don't want to see him have a title in WWE. I don't like that he won King of the Ring. But he is so good at getting people to hate him. Everything he does just gets you to despise him and hope that something really bad happens to him as an individual, to the point where I really don't even think it's a character anymore. I think Baron Corbin's just a real-life dick, and he just puts it on camera, kind of like Sasha Banks. But I respect how good he is at getting people to despise him. You go to an event and you hear just the boos that Baron Corbin gets, and it's ridiculous. The things that he does to get hated, like pour dog food on Roman Reigns, handcuffed to a steel post. That was one of the most uncomfortable segments I've ever seen in wrestling, ever. Made me despise Corbin more than I thought I already could. But Baron Corbin, it's just facts. is one of the best heels in the history of the company, and arguably right now.
So we're going to do this discussion part of the top 5 discussions now. Baron Corbin just makes me not want to watch wrestling. No, not in a good way. Not in a good heel, I want to see him get beat up way. Not in a, I want to buy a ticket to see him lose, or buy a ticket to see him get punched in the mouth. He makes me want to just not. He makes me want to not at all. He makes me not want to see him, not want to hear from him, not want to see him ever. It's not like I want to see him lose, which is what a heel should do, right? I just don't want to see him exist. I want to see him go away, which is referred to as go away heat, X-Pac heat, whatever. It's a term that refers to a heel that is just sometimes boring, sometimes just bad, where you just don't want to see him.
Which Corbin is a combination of the three.
I don't think he's a good heel at all. I don't think he's a good anything.
I think the
if
only
he died,
thing,
it would be okay.
I think the only thing he's good at is being a heel. I really do, because
he certainly wasn't good at having hair.
That's true, but or like wearing the pantsuits to wrestle in. Who the does that?
Looks like an Applebee's server.
Who the comes out here in a casual? Get this mic off of me. Who comes out here in casual attire in a full pantsuit, going to a wedding rehearsal, and then wrestles in it? Baron Corbin, that's who. You know why? Because it's stupid. But I don't want to, but I respect that he's an idiot. So
you shouldn't.
He's that good a heel. Everybody you talk to, every wrestling fan, hates Baron Corbin. Every single one. That means he's good at what he does. That means he's good at getting people to hate him. Whether he does it or whether it just happens because it's natural for people to hate this guy, it happens. And nobody likes Baron Corbin. I don't even think his parents like him. I wouldn't. Get out of my house. So.
You had some really good picks there, and then you just want to. You're the number one wrestling heel right now. You had a good 5 through 2, and then you go with number 1, and you just fuck it all up.
Sorry,
Let's wrap
buddy.
this up before I get mad.
All right, guys. Those are our top 5 heels in wrestling. Let us know who your guys' top 5 heels are. Get in the comments, like this video, share it. We have plenty more top 5 discussions coming and on YouTube. I'm Dirtsheet. This is Showtime. We are the Spoiler Alert Network, and just remember to stay dedicated.